Welcome back to another episode of the Broker to Broker Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Daniel, and today we're talking about a topic that scares most people, which is cold calling real estate agents and getting them to join your company. And so I have a guest joining us that doesn't have to make cold calls, and we're going to be talking about how to recruit without making cold calls today. So buckle up, here we go. Welcome to the Broker to Broker Real Estate Podcast, where we have real, raw conversations with industry leaders, finding out how to connect, support, lead, and ultimately make an impact and drive results in the lives of your agents. I'm your host, Nathan Daniel, and welcome to the show. All right, we're going all the way to First Class Real Estate, and we have Melanie McGuire with us today. Welcome to the show, Melanie.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited that you're here because I know we were having a conversation and it struck me because I've been hearing a lot of people, they don't want to make cold calls, talking to real estate agents and getting them to join the company right now. And you struck me and like with your system that you have, what we're going to get into today. And I'm excited to talk about how not to make cold calls and attract the right people to your company. So thank you for being here and joining us and talking to us about that. But before we get going there, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Melanie McGuire with First Class Real Estate. First Class franchises started a little over 2 years ago and have grown across the U.S. Love being a part of this company and have really found a way to not only help agents, but also the systems with our recruiting to get a lot of agents in. So I'm excited to talk about it because cold calling as an agent was not one of my favorite things to do. And so transitioning as, into First Class and recruiting and owning, I wasn't trying to cold call people. So I came up with a good system to not do that.
So you came up with a new system, or not a new system, a system for you that works.
Yes.
So that you don't have to make those cold calls. So, well, let's start there. All right. Talk to us about how to recruit without making cold calls. If I'm somebody just starting out, where do I begin?
Yeah, sure. So whether you're a team leader or a broker owner, the very first thing you want to do is go to job boards to recruit. If you are somebody who wants to go into the system and start calling agents, you can do that. But as you know, agents are really busy. And so bringing them, taking any of their time, it doesn't really kind of start off on the right foot. You'll get a lot of great agents that are wanting to either get into this business. So they're brand new, they just got their license, or somebody who is wanting to kind of scale up. And so they're not finding that with, searching on their own. And they'll come to the job boards. That's where people are going. And I know a lot of people used to say agents don't go to job boards, but I mean, we'll get 100+ minimum applicants every single week. There is times where I can have 100 applicants in a day. Wow. So especially during kind of transition time, like end of December, January, February, March, people are really starting to want to move brokerages. So, you can get such a large scale of agents just through these job boards, and you can post on these job boards for free. It doesn't always have to cost money to do that.
Okay. So interesting. All right. So job boards, you're going to the job boards and you're putting ads out there that are causing agents to apply. Mm-hmm. And then that's where you're starting your conversation. So you're not actually doing any outbound phone calls. Everybody's contacting you about the opportunities that's out there, right?
Yeah. So it's like a warm lead. It's like somebody got referred to you as an agent, mm-hmm. And so you are able to have a conversation and right away, those agents are engaged. They reached out to you from your ad. So maybe your ad was, we do 100% commission, we offer different programs. So maybe that attracted them, that they're an agent doing very well, but want to keep more of their commission. So they've mm-hmm. seen that post on the job board that we put for free. And right. Then we were able to, bring them in and have a conversation. So it's such a smooth transition compared to cold calling and aggravating them.
All right. Well, okay, that's good. So here's the deal. If you're tuning in right now, we're talking to Melanie McGuire with First Class Real Estate about how not to recruit using cold calls and having inbound leads. And what I want to, before we get into the system, because we intend to get in the system, like the behind the scenes look at this, we're going to do that today. But I want to hear some of these results. You mentioned 100, right? You can get 100 a week, sometimes 100 a day. Mm-hmm. How many of those are qualified? Like how many are you actually hiring? Yeah. Like what are the results that you're getting out of this?
Yeah. So when you are recruiting on a job boards, you're going to get all kinds of people. So people wanting to get into real estate, been in real estate, just got their license. So you do have to kind of scrub, but we have a system in place that scrubs them for us, brings it over. So it takes away that time. But even if you didn't have that system and you had to go in, it's really easy because you can ask a question on the job board, a qualifying question. Are you licensed as a real estate agent? And so when you open that job board up, you can see that they either put yes or no. And so you can, if you don't want to deal with unlicensed people, you can just go right to that yes, grab their resume, their phone numbers in there. You can, in the job board's email right out of there. And so they can just either call them. I think the best system is text. 92% of people prefer text. So for me, the initial would be a text always. And so it's just like, hey, Melanie here with First Class Real Estate. Thank you so much for applying with Indeed. Love to have a conversation with you. Do you have time tomorrow at 2:00? So. So super simple. You do have to be very consistent. I think that's the thing that some people don't like about posting on job boards, or they'll pay a large sum of money, $2,000 plus a month to do it, is because they don't want to be consistent. But those job boards let you make templates. And so you can post 10 to 30 ads in 5 minutes if you have templates.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about that. So results wise, you're having to sift and filter. I do want to come back to the system around that, but you're having to sift and filter through hundreds of applications. Now you said you have a program that you use to help with that, or a process to help with that. Yeah. And if you don't, then it's just simply going through there and reviewing all of them. Correct.
Yeah. And you can see it quick. And so just as far as stats, say you have 25 applicants apply, 5 of those will be licensed. Okay. So that's pretty consistent. So, you're going to they might just be brand new. So if you're, a team leader looking for an experienced person, you're not going to get as many of those. You might get out of those 5, only 1 who's doing, 10 million in volume a year. But if you're open to newbies, which can be rock stars too, like those are good agents. And if you're willing to train them, but you're going to get more newbies for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. So it's more of a new agent driven style. You will get the occasional producing agent in there as well, but you're gonna have to filter through it. And I love that. Even asking one qualifying question, like if you have a license or not, yes or no, at a quick glance, you're going to be able to see, where they're at in the process. I do think too, it's also an opportunity for those that are not, maybe they're expressing interest. Do you have a pipeline for that? That you'll put them through real estate school or something?
Yeah. So what we do is they'll come in through our system, and with 2 clicks, I can get them over to real estate school. We have affiliated with them. So you do get an investment back from, sending those clients. So if you are paying for a recruiter or an admin to do it, you're getting money residuals from that. But you send them right over to there, and then they'll alert you when they're just about done. And so you're able to reach out. So if you want to mass hire and have a lot of people coming into your company, you don't mind newbies, doing that's huge, because you can have 10 people finish school in a month and you have 10 new agents to work with. And statistics show for every 10 agents, you should see 6 closings. So why not?
Awesome. Okay. So what'd you say? For every 10 agents, you should
see 6
For every 10 agents,
you should see 6. So during the fall months, you'll see it kind of come down a little bit if you're not doing leads, just because of, holidays. We'll typically see it more like for every 10 agents, you'll get 4 closings. But on average, it's for every 10 agents, you should see 6 closings.
All right. I like that. Okay. That's a fun statistic. I haven't actually heard that one before. So thank you for bringing that to us.
Sure.
All right. So let's move into the systems a little bit, because obviously there's results that can happen with this, but we got to talk about the processes, because you said consistency earlier. So let's go there. You said you're posting how many ads a day?
So it just depends on the time of year. So right now we might post 10 to 30 ads a day, just because it's a time where people have kind of met their caps. So they're not switching over as quickly. Now in the late winter, so January, February, you might only need to post 10, if that. If you see that your area is really slow, post more ads. So if you're recruiting in like a smaller town, you're going to want to dominate that, job board. So you're going to maybe want to post 30 to 50 ads a day. But again, if you have templates set up, setting the templates up takes a little time. But you can go onto the job boards and look at what other people are writing. You don't need to hire someone to write ads. You can just kind of make it your own, but get an idea of what they're doing, and just, don't reinvent the wheel, do what's working. But the reason why you do that is because you got to stay at the top.
That's what I was going to ask. So, because like on most of these job boards, like I can see where it says like promo ad or paid ad or, their featured ad or something at the top. And
Right.
so the reason you're posting so often is because then you're always up there, right? You're always at the
Yes.
top of okay.
Yeah, because people say, oh, the job boards don't really work for me. I post 5 ads this week. I'm like, 5 ads this week? You need to have 5 ads each day. But
Right.
And you don't need to do it at different times of the day. Once you post it, you're going to stay towards the top. So I've tested it out. If I posted at 7 in the morning and at 7 at night, I'm still like the third one down. And I didn't pay anything for that ad.
Okay. So then you might go in there, you'll drop 10 ads in a single day, and then they're just scattered in there. So let's talk about, now you're doing those for free, obviously.
Right.
You've pre-built your templates. Are they different headlines? Are they the same headlines?
Yes. And one really key thing is a lot of people will do the ads where it's like larger print. So it'll be like real estate agent leads and it'll be really big. Well, it does stand out and that's cool. But the job boards don't, there's some type of integration where if you just use the templates that they're offering. So when you drop down, it'll say like title, it'll say licensed agent, licensed realtor, whatever it is, use one of those. Don't veer from that, because when you start to veer from that, I've noticed my ads are not towards the top. And I think it's just some type of integration with them, or I don't really know the reason, but I've been doing it for 2 years and I just know that. That's it. Just stick with what they do.
So use the templates that they provide and then modify the content or the copy that's inside that.
Okay. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, that's your best way to do it. So if you're staying consistent and you're posting, say 5 to 50 ads, I mean, 50 is a lot, but just say for your area, but you do it every single day, you're going to find Monday through Friday is your best times to post. Saturday, you don't really have to, you're not going to get a lot of return. But if you start posting on, say, a Sunday, you throw a couple ads out there. I've had times where a Sunday night I'm not busy. I can be on calls from 5 to 8. And one of the nights I hired 7 agents on a Sunday night posting ads on a Sunday. So posting ads on a Sunday is not a bad day. And around 5 o'clock, booking some appointments was pretty successful. So,
well, okay, let me ask about that. With those agents that you hired, those you said 7 in one night. How many of those had a 9 to 5 traditional job?
So I would, out of all of those, they were 4 newbies and then 3 licensed. Right. Out of the licensed, 2 of them were doing production over 6 million. Oh, so wow. It was a pretty good, but they were didn't have a busy weekend, and people start to stir, like Monday's coming, what's happening, so I really found Sunday to be good. I just wish I was more diligent on doing Sundays, but I try to give myself a mental break.
Oh yeah, we gotta have that little break in there, but consistency is key. And I was just kind of curious if it was like the mentality, everybody's like, oh, like Monday is coming.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go look for a new job, or whatever. So
I had no showings this week, and I need a new job. Yeah. So, but it was great. I was actually shocked. I've done it a few times, and I tell people all the time, it's funny, but Sunday at 5 o'clock seemed to be a good day to start, or a good time to start taking calls. So, but don't feel like you have to post all weekend long. You're going to have your most successful time Monday through Friday.
Okay. So you said with your ads that you're running, say you're posting 10 a day, how long is that taking you? Like if I needed to block this off on my calendar, how long does that take?
Oh, no more than 5 minutes. And I'll tell you why. It's probably faster. And it's only because I might run the same ad 10 times and just change the title. It might just be licensed real estate agent, new licensed agent, like whatever it is. I might just change the title, but keep the content the same. If I do come up with a brand new one and I'm changing it for this area, I'm finding more license, this area, maybe that's going to take me, 10 to 15 minutes to run those. Okay. But I have done it where I've posted 70 ads in 30 minutes.
Wow. So, holy moly. Yeah, okay. So you're basically just changing what I heard you say is you've created these templates. Yes. The inside, the ad content itself is pretty much the same. You might have a couple renditions of it.
Right.
But your title is what you're really changing to grab people's attention.
And so, and what I'll do too is I'll pay attention to it. If that ad didn't really give me a lot of people, the content in there wasn't very good, I'll switch it. So, but I have an ad that I've ran for about 2 years and I still run it today because it's such a good ad.
Okay. And so inside the job board, that's where you're having people reach out to you, correct? Or do you have them reach out to you directly?
I never go into the job board again. Once it's posted, it comes into our system and then it has an automatic responder. If you don't have a really good system like that, it's like a great CRM system. You can go through and still scrub those leads. It's just going to take you more time. So if you're trying to hire, like we hire a minimum of 10, but typically more towards 20 agents per month, just with me. And I do a lot more than just recruit. But if I didn't have that system, when I first started, I was doing focusing about 40 hours a week on recruiting. So it does take time, to do this, to post, but I was getting 10 to 20 agents a month. With our system though, because a lot of it's automated and it's brought in, it's kind of like Indeed is a job board is a cell phone, and then it gets plugged into my system. It's the outlet. That's what happens. It just keeps brought in to that system for me, and then automatic responders go out, and I jump in once I see their status. If they're licensed, then I'm jumping in. So it's so automated for us, but when I was doing it previously, it does take more time, but it's worth it.
So is that a custom program that y'all have built, or is that something that I could go out and subscribe to out there on my own?
You can subscribe, but it would need to get built out for you.
So there's some, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let me ask you this. Like, if I'm not ready to do that, like, I'm not sure this is the right fit for me. If I'm a broker and I'm like, maybe if this could give me some leverage and figure this out, what would you say is best idea for me to do it? Like, if I'm going to post 5 job ads a day.
Right. Just stay consistent every day, 5 ads. And if you do those 5 ads, you have to respond to these people quickly. If you decide that today I'm not going to get to those people who are licensed, and I'll call them tomorrow, they might have gotten a brokerage by tomorrow, because that used to happen to me where I would have so many to go through and I wouldn't prioritize and go as quick as I needed to. And so you want to make sure that you're paying attention, because these job boards link it to your email. So you get it right away with their full resume. So as long as you hear that ding, just send them a text really quick. You can have templates set on your phone, just copy paste, send the text out, just change the name. And I'm very direct, like tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I don't like to leave it open-ended. So maybe, you got to type those 2 things out, but get with them as fast as possible. Because if you reach out quick, what I've learned with the job boards is no more than 24 hours, but honestly, I think it's no more than 2 hours. If you go past 2 hours from them applying, you're losing them. Somebody else is faster.
It reminds me of the whole thing, speed to lead, right?
I was just going to say that. Speed
to lead, but just 2 hours maximum, and you're seeing a quick drop off as far as responsiveness after that period of time. Okay.
Yeah, because they're excited. They posted, they took all that time to get resume, give them instant gratification. Reach out to them. Why not? They're licensed. They're ready to go.
And this is a program, like you're talking about, where you're at today, you're running sometimes 70 ads in a day. And this is something that, are you doing this on your own? Like, is this something that you're specifically working on?
Yeah. So till recently, I have hired an admin, just because we've gone now more states. So we're not just in Atlanta anymore. We're out, Florida, North Carolina. We're running ads, other places. So she's doing that for me now. But previous to her, no, I was doing it. And honestly, you can run those ads watching TV with your kiddos, or drinking your coffee in the morning. It's not hard to run them.
Okay. Well, so for the last 2 years, you've been doing this on your own. Like, that's a part of your just strategy, lead gen strategy. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like my time blocking. I wake up in the morning, post job ads.
That's awesome. All right. Well, is there anything I haven't asked so far as the process, the system? Because what I heard so far is consistency in posting, take some time and create your templates. Right. Basically you're changing the headline every time you're posting the ad.
Right.
Speed to lead, making sure that you respond. Don't let it go past 2 hours. Right. And if you don't have a system yet, just hit it your email, respond that way, and shoot them a text. You're getting the most response there. Let's see, what else am I missing? Just be consistent with it. 5. Do what?
Another key factor. So,
okay.
You have all of these things happening, right? You're taking all the time to post these ads, to make sure that you're responding quick. Don't get on the phone with them and do a disservice to yourself of not being kind. Come from contribution. Find out about this agent. Don't brag about your company. This is about the agent. 86% of people will come to a company because of the recruiter. So also make sure you have the right person in place.
Okay. So don't make it about you and your company, make it about them.
Yeah. Find out why. I ask them, my first question is always, what made you apply? And they'll tell you, I don't feel supported. I'm not getting leads. I'm not closing deals. And now you can find out about them, find out about their lifestyle. Are you coming in full time? How much time do you have to dedicate to your business? Then do your spiel. 90% them, 10% you. And that will close them, because it's about coming from contribution. If you can't help that agent, why are you going to bring them on?
Mm-hmm. That's good. I like that. That's really good. Care about the person. Don't make it about numbers.
Right.
I love that. All right. Well, that's a great question. What made you apply?
Yeah. What made you apply? Right. So, and people will open up. They will tell you so much.
Well, I was going to say, and a big, probably an important piece to that is that when you ask that question, zip it up, right? Don't say anything and let them respond, right? And they'll probably pour their hearts out, right?
They do. And, a lot of them, even, producing agents, people say, oh, producing agents won't want leads. They do. They want to supplement, so maybe they're doing really well and they're doing 5-10 million in volume every year, but they want to do 20. They're having a hard time getting to that next step. So if you're offering leads, then you can talk about that. But if you just start rambling about like how great your company is and your training's great, they hear that all day long. I hear all the time on my recruiting calls, this is so different than every other company that I talk to. But it's only because I do want to find out about them. I want to help them. So I need to know, how can I help?
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. So is there anything else? Like, I love that key factor there. Is there anything else that we're missing in the system that if I want to start today implementing it, you would give me advice on?
Yeah, it would really just be, making sure that you're posting on the job boards and not paying for it. And the only reason why I say that is because you'll give up, because you're not going to see an ROI on your investment and you're going to say, this isn't working, but it does work. So give it some time. But other than that, just being consistent, posting those ads, but paying attention to your conversion rates. If you are not seeing a conversion on these agents, like I've talked to 10 agents, I hire no one. 2 problems. One, it's not the ads they got there, right? It's it's what you're asking, or it's the recruiter. And it's not everyone's built to recruit. Yeah. And so you want to factor that. If you're not seeing a lot of people applying on your ads, then you need to switch the ad, right. And you need to expand out of your area. So I guess one thing I could definitely go in on is we live in the Atlanta area. I will post 2 hours away because we're virtual and I know that I'm in the board there or whatever. So don't feel like you have to post just like in your little town that you're working. There's agents all over. And if you can help them, or you're a great coach or got great training, don't just post 5 different towns, post everywhere. Do a mass post 2 hours away. Most people are working from home anyways. So.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melanie, for talking to us about your systems. One final question for you, and this is, one question I ask everybody. In the last 6 months, what would you say is the greatest lesson that you've learned?
Building relationships with agents, for sure. I always am big on that because I love building relationships with clients, as an agent, but building relationships with the agents is definitely key. That's kind of been my biggest factor.
Yeah. Well, and it's important too. I know, in today's world, we're on the phone quite a bit. We're on Zoom quite a bit. And in a very short period of time, we have to be able to build that relationship.
Yeah, that's important. Come from contribution, help those agents. Don't just get them on and try to hit a bunch of numbers.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. Today we have been talking to Melanie McGuire with First Class Real Estate. Now, Melanie is doing something that's pretty awesome, right? She is actually going to give us some of her templates, some of her most popular job ads. So if you're listening to this right now, go to broker-to-broker realestatepodcast.com, broker-to-broker-podcast.com. Go check it out and comment on the show. If you're on Facebook or any of the social platforms, drop a comment. Melanie is going to be tagged in that. So we will be sending out her top job ads if you want to copy those, if you're going to be running this system. So also, Melanie, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Email. Just email me. Yeah.
And her email is going to be down in the show notes. So you can see all of that. But well, awesome. Well, this has been a very informative call. Thank you for pouring into our industry and opening your systems up and helping us identify how we can make and recruit agents without making any cold calls. So thanks for being on the show, Melanie.
Thanks for having me. See you, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Broker to Broker Real Estate Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to the channel. For For more information, tools, and resources, go to www.brokertobrokerpodcast.com, and always remember, be you and be real. We'll see you on the next episode.